Hi, it's me, editing Jeremy. So normally I would just do one video for something like this, explain how it works, do some patch examples, but dagnabbit, this module and this system that Make Noise put out has so much going on that I decided to turn this into two separate videos. The first video is going to be an explainer of Multiwave, Polymath, and this skiff. By the end of this video, you'll understand how the whole thing works. Then in the second video, I'll have a bunch of patch examples. I'll explain them a little bit, but it will be mostly audio examples and music. So feel free to pick whatever video you prefer. Thank you to Make Noise for including me on this launch. And with that, let's get going.
Hello everybody, my name is Jeremy, this is Red Means Recording Modular, and today I'm very happy to bring you a video on this system right here. But specifically, we're going to be talking about the Multiwave mostly. This is the brand new module that completes this little skiff that I believe Make Noise is selling. Make Noise sent this over for me to do a video on, and I'm very grateful to be part of this launch because I think this is one of the more interesting things that exists in Modular right now. If you've been paying attention, you've seen Polymaths come out. QPass has been out. These low-pass gates are out already, I believe. This is nothing new, and Multimod has been out for a while. Multimod, Multiwave, Polymath, and the QXGs represent a system that has cables underneath that plug in. And for instance, Multiwave does not need to be plugged into QXG to work, and Polymath also talks to QXG just internally. There's also a little index thing here that we'll use later in order to do some cool stuff. Here's how this thing sounds, by the way. What's gonna happen next? Stupendous. So this video is going to be broken up into two parts. The first part is here, me explaining to you how Multiwave works. I want you to understand it completely, or at least to the best of my ability, before we get into the second part of the video, which is going to be a collection of patches that show off some various things you can do with Multiwave. But first, I want you to wrap your little head around it, honestly. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to take the output 7 and 8 here, and I'm going to plug them in to our output module right here, and you're going to hear that. Okay. Wonderful. Each one of these can output its individual wave, their audio output. There are 8 voices, and each voice has 2 oscillators, and each one you can pull an output from it. You can also mix them. So if I press page 2 here and go like that, I'm now mixing the wave outputs on 7 and 8. So 7 is the odd outputs, and 8 is the even. You can hear we have some polyphonic tone going on, and that's because before I shot this, I was messing around, and there are some pitches that have been remembered by these voices. And the way that these voices receive information and put wave files out, meaning put sound out to you and pitch and timbre, all that, is through what's called activation. And activating means that you select one of the voices with this span control, or with CV, or with this activate control right here. And you can do all kinds of really interesting things by choosing when and how to activate voices. Let me give you an example real quick. Here is CV out of Renee, put it into transpose, and let's go ahead and clock Renee. So now you can hear that our voices are being transposed, and we have a little pitch sequence. Transpose doesn't need any activation whatsoever, but what I want you to hear is the sequence that we're going to be using. Because now I'm going to take this and put it into volt per octave, and you're going to notice that nothing is really happening. In order for this now to pick up that sequence, it needs to be activated. And I can manually do that. So those were the notes that we had here, right? What happens if I send a gate in to activate at the same speed? Well, whatever voice is currently in focus will be constantly activated in such a way that it can pick up that sequence. But we can also move through these with CV. So let's take a triangle out of there and put it into span. If our speed is fast enough, as it is coming out of Multimod right now, this triangle wave, then we'll hear our original sequence, assuming that, like, you know, we're always activating faster than this. But I can turn this down in speed. And now you can see we're going through and activating these, but it's not quite synced up with this happening in order to make the sequence not smear in an interesting way. So that's what activation in terms of pitch is with 1 volt per octave. Pretty neat, right? We have a glide control. So every time a voice gets activated, it'll glide, which is neat. We have a detune control, which adds sort of a swarming effect at first, and then awesome octave effect there. Cool, right? These are wavetables. So each voice has a wavetable that can be loaded to it, and we can move through those with the wave function. So let me turn it to A. There's one wavetable. B. One wavetable. These wavetables are selectable by pressing page 2, and then go through here and pick one. What about you? That's cool. And then I kind of liked the second one here. Okay, great. Press that again, and the high-res wavetables get loaded in. There's a SD card underneath that you can load your own wavetables in with. Cool. So you can modulate those wavetables with, obviously, any signal you want by going like this and turning up an attenuverter. Like that. So you can get all kinds of cool drones. But there's also other ways to do it within the module itself. So if you're familiar with Multimod, this thing puts out a series of shapes, CV shapes. In this case, blue is a triangle. So if I press the mod thing here, we will auto mod our waves. And there's different ways that you can do that. You saw I pressed page 2 and pressed another button. They can be continuous like they are right now. They can be a one-shot, which is really, really cool. I'll show that off later. And they can be reset every single time a voice is activated. Let's talk about oscillator A, because it can do some really cool things. You'll notice this follow control right here. Let me turn that off. So now, this is completely free running. It can be sequenced. Independently of the other oscillator. There we go. So when you turn the follow mode to nothing, and you turn up the volt per octave like that. God, I hate that wavetable. Hold on a second. There we go. That's nice and mellow. Cool. So now we have 2 separate sequences going on, which is super, super cool. But that would be not as fun if that was all that you could do. So let me take this out. This mode. This is the mode that will follow oscillator B. And it still can get detuned. So you can do like a seventh up, which is cool. Here, there's only a semitone that it can travel. Here's octaves. And here is the harmonic series, which I think is super cool. And of course, you can sequence this. So, like this. Cool, right? And I can increase that detune. Cool, right? Already getting some really, really interesting stuff. So let's leave it in that mode right there. And let's talk about spread, because spread is one of the most interesting things that Polymath and Multiwave does. Polymaths, excuse me. And this is where the thing starts to become a hypnotic, lose hours just messing with it and seeing what happens machine. So, every single one of these parameters can be spread. And what that means is you have 8 voices. Watch what happens to these LEDs as I turn this knob. See how they get linearly lighter towards one side? Well, that's indicative of the spreading effect. So in this case, this will be the stronger and this will be the weaker, and vice versa. So what this means is anything with a gold attenuverter label can be spread. Let's do it with pitch, because this will be really, really obvious. Remember, we have the harmonic series? I'm going to go ahead and spread this. And now, whenever a voice is activated, it takes that incoming 1 volt per octave signal. 1 volt per octave? It takes that incoming 1 volt per octave signal, obviously applies it to the voice, but it also takes into account the position of the voices and where this attenuverter is. So let's go ahead and make this a bit more, what's the right word? Timed. All right. So now Activate is getting a gate signal that is the same as our pitch sequence. And you can hear the rhythm has insinuated itself. We now get an understanding of tempo. So we're already getting some really, really interesting engagement with the module just through this simple drone interaction, right? Let's go ahead and change up our pitches. Wavetables can be spread. So let's go down to our full little, beautiful little pure sine waves there, and then spread our wavetables, shall we? That's so cool. Such a sucker for pretty drones and little flittery things. Ugh. All right. So we have 8 voices. Each one has 2 oscillators, 2 wavetable oscillators dedicated to them. They're the same wavetable oscillator dedicated to each 8 voices, but it's polyphonic. Those voices can be activated, in which they get information from 1 volt per octave, and they also make decisions about their spread characteristic, which, as you see, can be applied to various things. Anything with a gold attenuverter. That spread control can be modulated, and you can just go to town. Cool. So, now that you have a basic understanding of how Multiwave works, let's go ahead and get the rest of this skiff engaged. Make Noise has this new system that they have developed in which modules can talk to each other underneath. Little underneath talky talk. So all we really need to do here is join this output of one QXG into the input of another. These are quad low-pass gates. We're going to take the output of that and put it into QPause. QPass, which is a resonant filter with a lot of character. We'll take the low pass out for right now into the left-right output of our little thing right here. And I'm also going to make one more connection, and that is from the index out to the span in of polymaths. So what that does is these little things right here, these little lined things, you can see them all over the place, right? There's one on, what do you call it? Multi-mod right there, right? Those are index outs, and an index is this position right here. So watch what happens when I put this at noon and now move through here. See? See how it moves with it? Put that right there. We want them to match up, right? You can also hear that we have some sound. Isn't that wonderful? So let me turn up the fall. As we activate those voices, Polymath is now working on them. Polymaths is a function generator. It does a lot of what maths did with the rise and fall, but now it's basically polyphonic. There's 8 of them, and all of their functions can be spread too. So let's get a sequence going on and listen to how Multiwave and Polymaths interact with each other. All right, so look at them go. Let's make sure that everything is zeroed out here, including our spread. No spread, no spread. There we go. So, Polymaths. Rise and fall. We have the same curve control we did, or a similar curve control that we did on original maths. There are videos about polymaths out already from Make Noise, so make sure that you check those out. They're always doing fun stuff. We have strength. Because this is connected directly to these low-pass gates, and because their excite function, what actually keys them off, can have varying strengths, then strength is a really cool thing to mess around with. So, for instance, if I was to grab an output here, change this to a random value, put it into strength, you'll be able to hear that these will respond differently depending on how much strength they get, right? So already pretty fun. One of the really fun things we can do here is introduce the spreading that we did over here. So I'm going to turn down fall, really small, turn up spread, and then turn up spread here. And now you can hear we have variation in our fall characteristic depending on where we are in the spread. You can do the same thing for rise. Strength can be spread. That's so cool. And one of the cool things that can be spread is this oscillator thing. So what this is it adds an oscillation to the function that's being generated. Every single one of these is a little function that's being generated by our rise and fall. So listen to what happens when I turn up this oscillator here. And now we have this like, whoop, whoop, whoop. Listen to this. That's the rate. So this also has a shape if you're careful, you can match it. That's dope. Upward ramp. Kind of sounds like it's reversing. So this can be spread as well. So what we're going to do is turn this down and then turn this up here and then this too. Cool, right? The answer is yes. It's hella cool. Holy shit. Oh my gosh. The spread is cool, but there's a reason that Multimod is part of this. One cool thing that you can do with QXG is spread the stereo image like that. All right, so hopefully that has whet your appetite in that respect. I think it is so much fun and it's so easy to get lost in it. It's really cool. Let me show you some other cool things you can do with polymaths. Okay, reset. I'm going to take a faster signal here so you can hear it. Hear that ratcheting? So in this mode, there's 3 different modes for polymaths. We can get that really cool ratcheting when we put reset in there, because it's resetting each one of these little friends envelopes. And if you do it faster, obviously you can ratchet it. You can do it slower if you want, though I don't really see what the point would be, but I really like this ratcheting thing. Yeah, Blue Tech, eat your heart out. That's cool as hell. All right, let's talk about the filter and envelopes. Just like with Multiwave, for each one of these can have an output, meaning an audio output. Like I could grab any one of these and just put it right into here. The same can be done with polymaths. So each one of these can be taken out at any point as its own modulation source. Just for demonstration purposes, I'm going to grab one. So now you can see every single time it hits one, we get an envelope over to QPass, right? So by holding cycles in mode, you'll see some LEDs light up, green or red. Red is no mix, green is mix. And now every time it hits 1 through 4, we'll get an envelope. Now see how it's kind of like going wah? It sounds like there's a rise to it. And that is because there's a behavior behind the scenes that involves this oscillator thing, where if the oscillator, this thing, is set to unipolar mode, it kind of wraps around when it gets overloaded with envelope information. But we can set this to bipolar and it will turn into more of a traditional envelope. So let's do that. So now by holding down mode, you can see that it's orange there. And now we no longer have that wha. So listen to the difference. Big ass difference, right? So if you're taking outputs out of polymaths and you're like, why does it sound like it's going wha? Try changing your oscillation mode to bipolar and you'll get a more traditional relationship there. So this is really cool because you can take these and choose different places in this and really get incredible animation into your system. You're going to get stronger or weaker outputs depending on where they are and what these are set to. And that goes for how it affects your output as well, right? That makes sense. All right, and with that said, let's listen to some patches that I made with this. I'll have a brief introduction to them, and we'll just jam out and hypno out and chill out together, okay? Let's go.
Hey, did you like that? Have you seen the other video yet? You should watch it. Look, it's right there. Look, click, click it, click it, click it, click it, click it, click it, click it. Look, click, click it, click it, click it, click it, click it, click it. Okay, thanks for watching.